I would like to be able to say that the Halo show did the same. It grew the player base. I am less inclined to play Halo now than I ever was.
That's crazy. Alright, Mark. So we're talking
What's
about...
going on?
We're talking about video game adaptations today, right? That's the whole plan?
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I've just been, over the past however many years it's been since Halo was announced, Fallout was announced.
There's a new Borderlands one coming out.
Arcane and Arcane Season 2, which I think is coming later this year or next year,
I think
something
it's next
like
year.
that.
I'm not sure on that, though.
We've actually been in a pretty good spot, I think, for the most part.
In terms of adaptations, yeah, I think they've been pretty good.
In terms of adaptations, for the most part, I mean, the Sonic movie got pretty highly acclaimed.
I mean, think about it. That movie got changed because we roasted it. You know, everyone roasted it on the internet. That movie got changed on the spot. And
the producers listened to the audience, right? To the people that liked the game.
I liked the Mario movie. I think that was super solid. I mean, it was not the video game verbatim, but it was an dramatized version with the story. It was awesome. I think it was a great movie.
If you're gonna change it, acknowledge that you're gonna change it, but still try to pay homage to the characters, right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, I mean, Fallout, I mean, some people may be a little, you know, on the border about it if they actually like it or not. I'm watching it right now. I want to say it's pretty good. I wasn't the biggest Fallout player back when I was younger. I know I have Fallout 4 on Steam for the past however many years. Haven't played it yet.
Oh.
Happens, right? But as a viewer, I think it plays pretty well, and I've heard people that played the game that love it. People that play the game that don't love it. They're able to make your own decisions on it, right?
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think about these adaptations, by the way. I'm curious
if we're
the
wrong,
reception is.
Let us know.
Because as far as I'm aware, Fallout's in the middle. Borderlands, everyone's really not confident about so far. Arcane was greatly received. Last of Us was greatly received. Halo is very mid at best.
At best. That's pretty fair.
I'm just curious where everyone's takes are at. And while you're there, give us a like and subscribe. You know what I mean? Alright, now we got that out of the way. Oh,
no, not the finger guns.
Oh, I'm bringing them back. One day at a time.
God. No.
I'm wearing sweatpants with a button down. That's how you know. Anyways.
I mean, shit, I'm wearing sunglasses with a button down that's open,
we won't talk about the sunglasses and shade. Your glasses broke. You need a prescription.
I'm blind as a bat. You know, it happens.
Yeah, you couldn't see without him, man. I could hold my hand up, you wouldn't know. But, honestly, I think Arcane was the best example so far. I think Arcane was... Granted, it was being funded by the people who made the game.
Fully funded by Riot, right?
So they have to be faithful, but that one really felt like it truly expanded on something that already existed. It wasn't just a verbatim cut and paste. Oh, look, I'm rehashing the story in a movie, which is arguably worse than a video game because you're not actually experiencing and making decisions yourself.
You're not able to make,
Yes, but that really made the characters in the video game that has nothing to do with story at all feel really alive and characteristic, which is awesome. I wish more games would go that route.
If you're able to go back to a TV show and fully understand the way that these characters feel, because there's no clear-cut good character, no clear-cut bad character.
It's all morally gray, which is beautiful.
I don't want to give any spoilers on it, so I'm not actually going to talk about plot points, characters, anything like that. But you have the
so old, bro.
big... I mean, it's old, but, bro, people claim, whoa, man, spoilers on like a 30-year-old movie, bro. If you mention Star Wars, people are going to hate you with spoilers.
Hey, spoiler alert. People could say Caitlyn's the bad guy. People could say Jace is the bad guy. People could say Silco's the bad guy, alright? Like, that's the plain and simple of it. It's the beauty of narration.
If you have a morally gray zone, that's pretty good. If you're able to have anybody and any and everybody be a bad guy, it's pretty good.
But in the same tone, they're being the good guys, too. Like, you can justify why Jinx and Silco do what they do. You can justify why Jace does what he does. You can justify... I can't remember the councilwoman's name. But you can justify why she acts the way she does. Right? Like, it makes people see... It humanizes characters that didn't have anything to them before.
Yeah.
Which I think The Last of Us hit in the head really well. Because that game had a very rich story and characters that felt real. And rather than go crazy and try and change it, they just exemplified it and dramatized it and made it into a show. And I think that was really well done. Like,
also, Pedro Pascal, a goat.
True. Goat casting. But they made it feel real. Like the game had like the interaction part. It still felt dramatized. You kind of knew what was going to happen, but you still got shocked by it. You were still impressed by the visuals and the adaptation. Like there was the heart and soul was behind it.
It was a passion project, for lack of better
Absolutely.
words.
Even if they were doing it for the money, there was passion involved
I
somewhere.
mean, there was passion in the creation, but I mean, a lot of these companies, their main goal at the end of the day is going to be views, money, and
Naturally, it's a business.
I mean, it's a business. At the end of the day, it's a business. I mean, Arcane wasn't out here, or Riot wasn't out here making Arcane because, oh, we just love our players so much. They were hoping that this was going to help expand their player base, which it did.
It did.
And I mean, a lot of these games, or a lot of these companies, when they're letting their game rights be like bought out for shows or movies, and they keep a part of it, their ultimate goal is to expand their player base, right?
Absolutely.
I think Fallout 4 in Europe became the best-selling game over a week because of the Fallout series.
I believe
and it's up, I think, 6,900% player base in Europe. I know, very funny number. Very funny
number.
But all because their show did something well. They helped grow the story, even if it's like just because of the characters or just because of the casting. It worked. It's
they wanted. It's not even a modern game though. Like this game is now 2017, and it just got a resurgence of popularity because of a TV show. Like Fallout 4 is the one it's most based off of. You could tell that from the trailers. I haven't watched it at all, but
I mean, Last of Us player base grew because of the show. A lot of these shows.
Talked about that one.
Yeah, that already grew.
Even if Borderlands sucks, people are going to want to play the game regardless of because they're like, oh, this movie was either really good that I just want to experience it, or it's really bad. I just want to go look at the good stuff again, right? Like either way, it's going to draw people back.
And then, I mean, I really, as a dedicated Halo fan, as you can see right there.
That's him.
I would like to be able to say that the Halo show did the same. It grew the player base. I am less inclined to play Halo now than I ever was. Because of how poor that show was made.
So what makes that one a failure in comparison?
They just ruined the characters. I mean, the Master Chief is the most... I'm going to say this in quotes also as a Halo fan because I'm a nerd, you know.
Of course.
The Master Chief is supposed to be one of the most stoic video game characters that you can see yourself being if you're like, you know, your ultimate self, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the show, he's just some random dude that, oh, the world needs a Master Chief so they can see him. And his face shows, you see his ass for whatever reason. He's having intercourse with some random Covenant spy. Spoiler, I mean, show sucks. Like,
that doesn't make sense to the character, though. I'm not even a big Halo fan, but he's meant to be a super soldier. That is just
not Master Chief.
That's who he is, the super soldier, the value of humanity.
Yeah, he is supposed to be the savior of humanity. He's not supposed to be out here just like turning his back on humanity just to have sex with the spy.
That's uncharacteristic. So faithfulness is a big part of it.
Yes, I think so. Like they just were not faithful to the character. And the community, the viewership, the player base, everybody after the first season said, this was terrible, please fix it with season 2, right?
Did they fix it?
No.
No,
it's just as bad, if not worse. Like, so we talked about The Last of Us, right? The Last of Us did their zombies, for lack of better words, very well, right? Halo has the Flood.
Mm-hmm. Basically
the Flood are zombies, right? Yeah. But there's a bit of a difference to their zombies. They don't look like normal people. They have like the flood spores on them. They can spread through air. Yeah. There's a lot of differences between a normal zombie that you're going to see in the Last of Us show because like they don't, you know, like they have the cordyceps.
They're called clickers, I think is what they were.
Clickers, yeah, whatever. And the Flood. Either in visual or the way they act or anything like that. So Halo said, oh, those did very well. We're just going to make our Flood look like that. Oh, and there's also already a vaccine for the Flood.
So what's the point? There's no threat. There's already a vaccine.
There's zero threat to the Flood in the Halo show.
World War Z. You know that movie. That movie was a great book. I loved that book. You watched the movie? It has, I can't remember his actor's name. Brad Pitt, I think it's what it was.
I think it was.
So they have the whole movie going about how they don't have a way to cure it or anything. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, this one lab over here has a vaccine. And then dude goes in there, he vaccinates himself with it, and then he walks out the rest of the movie with no threat at all. Like, there's no stake. They want us to be nervous for him walking down this hallway. Like, you didn't build this up to justify this. Like, why are you making a cure for something that's supposed to be unbeatable? That's the whole point. Just to make it seem doomy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that once the passion is gone and it's just the money making aspect, that's when these shows and adaptations and movies are going to go downhill. Like,
yeah,
I haven't really paid all that much attention to Borderlands because, I mean,
I'm not
hey,
optimistic.
It's still in production. I mean, a lot of game shows you're not going to be optimistic going into until you actually see it, right?
Yeah,
but
and even Sonic and Mario, I wasn't optimistic.
I gave the Halo show a chance. I was just like, all right, first few episodes, I'm going to go into it with the hopes that at least Master Chief is still Master Chief, right? You can't mess up a character that you have so much lore behind.
Surely.
And after episode 1, I was disappointed.
Adaptations are hard. I won't sit here and try and sell it to you like it's an easy feat. It's not easy to take something that people love and make a faithful adaptation of it. But you know, a good start is knowing what you're talking about. And I just started watching the Chucky TV series. God damn, it's so good. I love it. They have the same Don Mancini, I believe is his name, the same writer and director for all the movies, is now in charge of the show. And you can tell the passion is there. Riot has the same writers from their lore department working on Arcane. Like it.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, like we've already mentioned, Riot's a bit of a different, but at the same time, it's different but similar. It's the same bottom line. You want to make money, you want to be successful with what you do.
The Mario movie doesn't have any same writers. They put Chris Pratt as Mario, but guess what? It's a fun movie. It embodies what Mario symbolizes. That is exactly what they set out to do. It was faithful. It was goofy. Bowser may be Jack Black. He may be ridiculous how he comes out fighting penguins in the beginning. But who cares? It's silly.
But it's funny.
People love that. That is Mario to a T. Like, back in the old days, I don't know if it's a 2000s movie, that Mario has the weird Koopa guys that get, like, their head zapped into a machine and become a Koopa or whatever. Right? Like, that was stupid. That was the dumbest movie I've ever seen. It was good because it was dumb, but it's not faithful. Like, that movie is critically a failure because it didn't generate enough money. The Super Mario movie was one of the most popular within its release period. The Sonic movie is also in that bracket because it's faithful. I mean, they're making a Knuckles movie now. Like, it had to be successful enough to get a sequel.
And not even a sequel, kind of a spin-off.
A spin-off, yeah. It's not even like a direct sequel. It's Knuckles. So, I don't know.
I just, man, I'm so disappointed with Halo.
Listen, they're never going to save it. They always do Halo dirty.
No, it's so doomed.
Thank you, Microsoft. We love you.
Yeah, thank you, Microsoft, for selling off Halo and letting 343 destroy it.
It was very nice of you to do that. But I think we kind of summed it up on what makes an adaptation faithful and good and high quality at the very least, enjoyable. I guess.
I could even I guess this is branching off a little bit from games too, but going to the Lord of the Rings series too that just came out, right? Like that was Amazon when they bought the rights to Lord of the Rings, they bought like the appendix of the book.
Yep.
They didn't buy the actual story itself from the Tolkien estate. All they did was they said, all right, give us a very basic summary and we're going to make a show about it. Mm-hmm. I don't think they've watched a single movie, read a single book before that. And they just said, all right, we'll figure it out. They might have read it like 37 years ago and they're just trying to pick pieces from their memory, but it was just some of the worst.
If we're going that route, look at fucking Game of Thrones, man. Like, that show was so critically successful and amazing. And then one season when they didn't have the one season they didn't have material to go off of, they ruined it. Just like
2 seasons.
Was it 2 seasons? I thought it was 1.
It was
7 and 8? Or was it just 8?
It was, I think the ending of 6, 7, and 8 is when they...
With no material?
They didn't have material. They ran out of material right after...
Either way, the point stands.
But yeah, they fell apart. They didn't have.
They were not faithful
George R. R.
anymore,
Martin.
And they ruined it. The show literally tanked infamously because of those 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And they didn't even shoot the scenes well either.
No.
I mean, just
the production value jumped off a cliff entirely. Like
they just kept their money.
So I guess the advice we're giving to any young entrepreneurs trying to start up a faithful adaptation to a video game is know what you're talking about.
Like, do your research.
Know what you're talking about. You're going to adapt something. Make sure it's done right, because no one wants a half-ass show. Like, we're not going to watch it. We'll watch the first episode and turn it off. That's no retention.
You're gonna get made fun of.
We will clown on you. Look at that Sonic. That meme was lasting for months. It still exists. I guarantee it does. You'll be immortalizing it up for the wrong reason.
Oh yeah. Which I guess any publicity is good publicity. Yeah. People always say, but
allegedly.
That's a very big allegedly because Halo died.
Market. Yeah, Halo is dying. I think that show rather is canned. If it's not officially canned, it's certainly in the back burner. Either way, thank you guys for joining us. It's just Mark and Jeremy today. We're just vibing. Davin's out ill.
Just yapping.
So you figured we'd yap it up while he was gone. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Check us out next time. More finger guns before we go.
More finger guns. Take care.